Yeah, so hello to who's ever seeing this, whether it be me or, you know, if I do end up posting this on YouTube or something. Um, as the title of this file or YouTube video so aptly puts it, I got dumped. It happened about 3, 4 days ago. Today's Friday, happened on Tuesday, and it's only just started really hitting and hurting, as I expected it would. For context, the girl I was seeing, we were dating for, well, we had been talking for about a year and a half, but we were officially dating for 1 year and I think 2 weeks, the day puts it. Um, and yeah, I think what's really made it, I don't know, somewhat hard for me to work through this is that I just find it so hard to agree with her reasons, even though I can empathize so fully with the reason she gave me. So for context, I am Christian. Um, and I want the person I end up with to be Christian as well. And going into this relationship, I thought I made that clear, clear to her. But she told me she went into the relationship with the understanding that I didn't care too much whether or not she was Christian. And so about a month ago from today, I told her, that I do care if she's Christian because because the Bible says, do not be unequally burdened. And so I've our whole relationship, I've been trying to sort of encourage her to, you know, seek out a different community because I know not to throw shade at her church, but I know a lot of the English congregation at her church, and I wouldn't say that they are exactly a bastion, representing, you know, the best of Christianity. And she herself admitted this, that one of the reasons that she found it so difficult to, get baptized and fully believe in Christianity is that the people around her, um, do not exactly signify Christianity, when with how they're living their lives. And so I was trying to, show her that, like I know I'm not a perfect Christian, but I try to exemplify Christ in what I do, and I was trying to, get her to, find a good Christian community at her college, that she could tap into and that she could, perhaps, you know, that could help her grow closer to God. And I had a friend at this campus ministry, at her college, so I was like, oh, maybe you should go check out this group, at your campus, and she did, and she said she didn't really like it that much, and I'm like, oh, okay, um, I completely understood where she was coming from. Not all fellowships are for everyone, right? But it was then that I told her, like, but I do hope you find, a fellowship or a group that, you can enjoy because being a Christian is a deal breaker for me. And uh, according to her, from that moment on, that's when sort of like the seed of doubt was planted. Um, because she grew up going to church, her whole family still goes to church, but I don't know if they would call themselves Christian, you know? Um, so yeah, like after I said that, she said, um, she began, just considering the future and just becoming anxious about it because she felt that from my perspective, like if she didn't become Christian, then I um would like dump her, or like basically if she ended up in the future deciding that she didn't want to be Christian, that our whole relationship was for nothing essentially. And I completely understand where she's coming from. I think that our whole relationship, I was trying to balance these two sides of, wanting to, push her towards Christ, but not wanting her faith to be contingent on me. And so it was the hardest balancing act um in the world. And I guess I failed in some sense there. Um, but I wouldn't necessarily call it a failure. But I think, yeah, hearing that as her primary reason as to why she wanted to end things, it hurt. Because ending on a big what if is just it's tough because um I, I don't know how correct MBTIs are, but I'm T, and I believe um she's F, if I'm correct. But yeah, I think that aspect of us is just so different because when I heard that as a reason, my immediate thought was, okay, well, there's a big what if. What if I don't become Christian? Then this whole relationship is, you know, for nothing. But what if? But like my mind's just thinking like, okay, but what if you do become Christian? Then like think about how much more this relationship could be, beyond just being, a relationship with one another, but a relationship in which we can, both help one another grow in Christ. And I think, yeah, the fact that it's ending on this, like what if, um, it hurts. But I do find some solace in the fact that I know I would never compromise on this, and that 100 times out of 100, if given a second chance, I think the relationship would come to the same end, whether it be sooner or later. And um, as you can tell, it still hurts. And yeah, I mean, another thing that hurt was just that this seed was planted about a month ago, and even on Sunday, 2 days before she broke the news to me, she seemed so happy. Even I forget what the last day was that we were together, but we met up, went to Marshall's, got Mexican Vietnamese fusion together. That was really good. Then we walked in the park and we're just chatting, and it felt so new and so old at the same time, so reviving because I felt like the relationship was getting a little stale, if you will. But I don't know. The last time I saw her in person before breaking up, it felt so back together and so like we're so back. I think that's another aspect that hurt that the relationship ended on such a high for me, but clearly such a low for her, and that she was able to cover it up for me is it hurt. And then beyond that too, after um oh sorry, I just keep on getting sidetracked, but she made her final decision to nix this relationship because we were FaceTiming one another Monday night. So she FaceTimed me, I was asleep, and then when I wake up from our call, like a few minutes later, I call her back, right? I'm groggy. But I do remember everything that happened. And I do remember saying, hey, okay, like I'm a junior in college. I'm pre-med. And so I'm studying for the MCAT, so another sprinkle of anxiety on top of all this. But I told her, because I'm studying for the MCAT and because I know she has a internship in a different state, and so she's packing for it. She leaves tomorrow, actually. But yeah, I knew that she'd be busy this week because of that, and so I said, I know you're busy, I'm busy, so I probably won't have too much time, this week to meet up and hang out during the day. But if you want to, hang out after dinner or during dinner, uh, I'm I'm free to grab a meal with you. And she said that was sort of like the straw that broke the camel's back because throughout our relationship, I mean, I don't think there were really that many communication issues, but at the very beginning, as with all relationships, I assume, you're much more communicative. Um, this new novel relationship, you're just head over heel. At least I was. And so I was definitely texting a lot more. But after I said, the thing about I want her to be Christian about a month ago, um, I think like the week after was finals week. And so, on both ends, we stopped communicating as much because, we both got locked in. And then, right after I came back, back to my home state, and we started talking more and more. Our communication got better, but that hurt. That her final straw was the fact that I couldn't meet during the day, and that I could probably only meet during the night, and that was you know, her final straw that, okay, this like that we don't have enough time for one another. But like, I don't know, I still don't just understand because like in the busiest moment of my life, like the busiest moment of my life, you decide like, okay, this is the reason. Like this is good. This is what's good. Like it's only gonna get worse from here. I disagree. I think this is like the worst, the most busy moment of my life, and I tried to make as much time for you as I could. And I wish there were 25 hours in a day because I would have given her that extra hour every single time. But I mean, that's the past. But again, I got sidetracked. But what I think what hurt most was that she just that after I said that, that's when she decided to make to break up with me, and not even 12 hours later, she sent the dreaded text that, hey, can we talk? And I think the fact that I wasn't even given, a full 24 hours, a good night's rest to, sleep on this decision and see, like, hey, is this truly what I want? Am I being emotional? Like, is this how I want to end it? Do I want to do this? Not even 12 hours, not of thought given to end a year, a year and a half relationship. And I think that's what hurt the most for me. That I wasn't even given a full day. And I know she was probably thinking about this for weeks. And I know that I'm not the only one hurting from this. But, you know, it really sucks. Yeah, but I still hope the best for her, though. I know I'm not the one, but I hope whoever she does end up with loves her as much as I do. And uh, my my only prayer, isn't for med school, isn't isn't for me, but I just pray that, you know, the loss of this relationship just helps her gain a new one with Christ. And even though that'll just hurt me more in the end, knowing that my relationship with her was ended on a what if that didn't even end up being true, that she ended up closer to Christ because of it. And as much sadness as that would further bring me, I think it would give me a lot more joy at the same time. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm still a little, obviously sad, but I think I'm still a little, like, salty, angry about it. Cause, like, I also caught myself today feeling, like, if you, oh, ooh, like, if you couldn't love me, at my worst, after finals, probably one of the roughest final seasons I've ever had, and then, me studying for the MCAT, if you couldn't, like, love me through this period of my life, then, you don't deserve to love me when, when I'm up. I mean, I don't really think that, but, I'm a petty person, and I'm vindictive somewhat. I caught myself feeling that, and I'm like, shit, Daniel. Like, what do you mean by that? But, I don't know. I'm just going through a lot right now, and I don't think I'd classify this as, like, depression or anxiety, but, you know, a breakup's a breakup. It sucks. And, yeah, I don't know. My plan to help myself get through this, I don't want to just, hop into the books and, or go to the gym and, just get revenge or whatever, but I want to still better myself. Like, I was thinking, I don't know if I said this earlier, I think I just said in my head, but I mean, I put my feelings into, like, a song, um, about sort of like how hurt I was, sort of reiterating this 19-minute journal entry rant, whatever you want to call it. Um, but yeah, I wanna get better at guitar. I wanna. My plan is to all the songs I'm listening to helping me through my breakup. Uh, Benson Boone in the Stars, Laufey, Love, Promise, um, Somebody You Love. Uh, yeah, Somebody You Love, Louis Capaldi. Like, these songs, I wanna learn them and, also upload them on YouTube. You know, as a little progress track. But yeah, I think there was other stuff I probably wanted to say, but I just forgot it. But I still have feelings for her, and I want to text her, but I know that's a no-no. I'm not gonna do that as much as I want to, as much as I want to tell her how I'm feeling, how I'm hurting. That's not best for either of us. And I mean, I've already like set out plans, like how I would go about this, and it's so tempting, you know, just go back to my phone to click on her profile picture with her beautiful smile, and just send a text, trying to reconnect, trying to rekindle, the embers of a fire that's gone out. But bad idea for both parties. And, you know, it sucks going through a breakup. And I know that it's probably just gonna get worse. But unlike the last time I went through a breakup, I've told all the people closest to me so that they know what I'm going through. And so hopefully they can, help a brother out. But, I hope I can get through this while taking the MCAT uncooked. Yeah, that's journal entry one.
I made a promise to distance myself. Took a flight through aurora skies. Honestly, I didn't think about how we didn't say goodbye. Just see you very soon. It hurts to be something, it's worse to be nothing.